Hi guys. Yeah, don't faint. You're actually hearing my real voice. So many of you have been asking for guidance with surgeries. So I decided to make videos of them. Okay, let's begin with the basics. So you can buy surgery packs with 12,000 gems from store, and that includes 10 of each tools. Next I will introduce the tools. So everyone knows what antibiotics do. So you use them if the patient has fever. With antiseptics you clear the operation site. Clamp stops bleeding, but it doesn't close the incision like stitches do. If the patient's heart stops, so use the defibrillator. The lab kit has to be used before you can use the antibiotics. Pins can be used to fix shattered bones, but you have to make an incision first. Well, scalpel is of course used to make incisions. And splint is used to fix fractures. If the operation site gets too messy, then use sponges. You use stitches if the patient is losing blood or if you are closing the incisions. If the patient is very weak, then use transfusion. Patients' physical issues can be revealed with ultrasound. Well, next you need a patient and a hospital bed. And if you don't have any ill co-players, then you can use the Surgery, which is a robot to make surgeries with. When you start a surgery, you need to have at least 10 of each tools. Next you see the patient's diagnosis and the tools that you can use. There are a few things that you have to monitor all the time. So if the text is green, then everything is fine. And if it's yellow, it's not fine, maybe you should do something about it. And if it's red, then you really should do something about it. So the pulse should be strong and the temperature under 100. There you see patient's status. So the patient has to be asleep if you make a surgery. If you make the surgery properly, so then the operation site should be clear, but that's not so important than other things. Here you can see how many incisions you have made, and you have to use as many stitches as there are incisions. If the patient is bleeding, you can see it here. At first you can't see all the tools. That means that you have to diagnose the patient first. So I would suggest to use the ultrasound first. Well, now you can see the diagnosis. So the patient has a brain tumor deep inside. Sponge you need to use only if it forces you to. When you have made enough incisions, there comes a button, fix it. If the patient wakes up, there is a text, the patient screams, so give anesthetic before this. At this point everything is wrong, so I guess that there's nothing to do for this patient anymore, unfortunately so. One more thing, you can't use the antibiotics before you have used the lab kit. So at the beginning, if the patient has high fever, so first use the lab kit before ultrasound if it's necessary at all. Well, this was about it, so I hope you found this useful, and in next parts I will guide you through the different kinds of surgeries. Well, see you then.